rundown of who and what you can expect in a real estate transaction here in Florida. And there might be some things that surprise you if you're from other states. So tune in and let's check it out. First, starting with the buyer side. Number one, myself, you're gonna have a real estate agent involved. And one very important thing, make sure you get an agent that's very well educated and knows what they're doing. It definitely helps out a lot in the grand scheme of things. Real estate agents, they're there to help guide you, to find you properties, to facilitate the transaction, and ultimately represent your best interest in the deal along with negotiations. So definitely, number one, you're gonna have a real estate agent and make sure you get a good one. Number two is an inspector. Typically, most people have inspections and I highly recommend that you do. So an inspector is going to be involved once you're under contract on that property and your due diligence period starts. You're gonna hire an inspector, whether you call them or your agent calls them, and you get it scheduled, and they're gonna be a part of the process with helping you determine what needs to be done with the property. Number three is a loan officer. If you are financing the transaction, the loan officer is gonna play a big part in this because number one, they're gonna give you the money. So a loan officer will be involved from the time that you, one, get a pre-approval from them, and two, once you're actually under contract and you send that contract over to the lender to start the underwriting process. So a lender will be very highly involved on the financial aspect of things throughout the entire transaction. Number four, I'm gonna couple these two together, is an appraiser and a surveyor. So if you are financing, they are going to want you to, one, have an appraisal, and two, get a survey of the property to know the boundaries of the property. The appraisal is going to determine the value of the property, and that in itself is going to determine how much the bank is going to lend you on it. So they're going to be involved throughout the transaction. Typically, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks until the appraisal is actually ordered and scheduled and done. And the survey is kind of in the middle towards the end of things as well. So a surveyor and an appraiser is number four. Lastly, number five is the title company. They're going to be involved throughout the entire transaction from the day that you have an executed contract all the way through closing. So they handle the lien search, the title insurance policy, all of that stuff in between that a lot of times in other states requires an attorney to be involved. Here in Florida, we don't have attorneys involved. We have real estate agents and we have title companies that handle the majority of what those attorneys are doing. So no attorneys in Florida, only a title company, and they are involved throughout the entire transaction, making sure that the title is clean, that everything's lined up, ready to go for closing. They balance with the lender at closing, and they actually close the transaction as well. So number five is a title company. Now, changing gears and looking at the seller side, it's a little bit simpler than the buyer side. There's not as many moving parts with people involved. So starting off, the seller, you're gonna have your real estate agent, which obviously is there to help you get the max amount of money for the property and represent your best interest. So it's very important that when you're hiring a listing agent that you definitely do your due diligence and make sure that they know what they're doing, that they've been in the business a while, they have support of what they've done so that they can get you the most amount of money possible. Second is going to be the title company as well, like I just spoke of. So the seller is really only going to be involved with a listing agent or a real estate broker and the title company. And they will be involved throughout the entire transaction. If there are repairs to be done throughout the process that might come up in an inspection, there might be other third parties involved to help get those fixed, but primarily the listing agent can help take care of those repairs as well and scheduling things. So mostly it's just going to be your listing agent and the title company. Lastly, one thing to note is that, especially with a lot of people moving down to Tampa from New York, like I mentioned, we don't have attorneys involved. One of my clients was super interested when he heard that, and he had no idea that we didn't have that and that it was only a title company. So that's one little nugget to know, as well as time frame of things. So typically we can close a transaction even if it's financed within 30 days. 30 to 45 days is the typical right now, which in places like New York, most of the time it's no way, like 60 to 90 plus days is how long it takes to close a transaction. So things are a little bit easier here in Florida, like a lot of things, and time frames are definitely shorter in comparison to a lot of other places. So I hope that's helpful information, guys. I appreciate you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share this video, and if you need any help real estate wise, please reach out. I'd love to be a resource for you. So I'll catch you on the next video. Tatum prays later.